What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another video. Today I'm doing a trade recap. I'm going over my technically three trades from today, and why I'm completely fine with the trades that I took and the losses that I took, because all three were losses. I'm going to be describing all of them and why I'm content with how today turned out. So my first trade was an overnight swing on ES. I took it right here at the start of this candle, I believe, or where I take it at. Turn my executions on. Okay, can't see my executions, but I did take it around this, I want to say, targeting this low down here. Yeah, long story short, didn't play out. Stuck to my rules. I took it on MES because I wanted my risk to be more controlled. With the IFVG SMT at the highs, resting sell side. Didn't look like a bad swing setup. So that was my first trade that failed. I ended up closing that this morning, actually, because we were starting to get bought up and we were expecting this imbalance here. So I closed out this morning early. Didn't let it hit my stop loss, so didn't lose too much there. I risked 0.5%, so I really ended up losing like 0.25%. So it was almost a break-even trade essentially for me. And then my actual first trade of the day was on ES. Turn my drawings on. Oh, that's why you couldn't see my executions. My bad. Let me go back to MES. I'll show you. So yeah, I took it down here. I can turn these off now. You see, that was my actual stop loss, and then this is my TP. They go the 1 hour. No, I didn't take it on the. I didn't take it on the 4 hour. Yeah, I took it on the 4 hour. Closed below here. Wanted to see that it was a little bit under a 1-to-1, but I did have conviction in it, so I was fine with taking it, and I was risking very low. So I took it with like 4 MES contracts, so the risk really wasn't much, and my stop was right above this IFVG here. That was my MES. Now ES, I will show y'all my trade. So going into the day on ES, we had that same imbalance that I was referring to. We were already rejecting off of. Going to the 15-minute, we had these strong SMT at these highs. Strong SMT at the highs, rejecting off the P right to the left of us. We got this 15-minute close below. Ooh. Then got this 5 minutes close below right here. This was my first entry. I ended up. Okay, so I guess I put on 2 more contracts after my initial entry. So I was on 4 ES contracts here. Risk was about 1% of my account balance. This would have been my break-even point. This was my main take profit level, and then so I would have taken off 1 here, 2 here, and runner to go here. That was my plan off of the inversion. Yeah, it was off of the 3-minute inversion. I had an SMT at the highs, rejecting off of the bearish imbalance. Ended up failing. NQ had already swept this high as well. So yeah, that was my first and only trade for ES. And then on NQ, this right here, I was zooming so you can see. This wasn't an actual trade. I took it in the same candle. I accidentally took this. Ended up making like $100 on it. So luckily, but you see, I didn't mean to actually take this trade. That was when I intended on shorting ES. I just accidentally was on NQ, so I ended up closing that. So I'm not going to count that trade. My first actual trade on NQ was right here. So I recognized, let's clean the chart up right quick. NQ, we were reacting off of this 15-minute bullish PD array. We had resting buy side up here. At first, I did want to see us come down to all these lows, But once I saw we were respecting that, we had an internal SMT at these lows right here. I was like, all right, we're probably not going to come back. We then inverted. I'll clean this up a little bit too. I'll leave those because those are going to make sense in a minute. We then inverted this 5 minute here, formed a BPR. That was my initial entry with 2 contracts. That is kind of where I would say I'm not the most happy with. I didn't want to take it with 2 contracts. I intended on only taking it with 1 just because I had already taken a loss in the day. I don't like risking my regular size after a loss. I usually cut back so that my win can usually put me at either break even or small profit on the day, versus if I lose and I'll be down a lot more. So that would probably, I would say, my only real mistake from today was where I could have did better. But it wasn't a bad setup at all. Higher time frames were very bullish. We were showing a lot of momentum. I actually want to see if we ended up respecting this 30-minute as well. We were showing signs of running bearish Peter A's, but as they say, wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So if I were to make an assumption right here, we're probably going to sell off for the 1050 macro, just off of the PO3 and the CRT. So yeah, I took the 5 minute IFVG targeting these resting buy side levels up here, and also assuming that the 15 minute would get ran, and we did close above consequent encroachment of the 15 minutes. So I really wanted to see a 15 minute close above, but consequent encroachment was better than nothing. So from there, I ended up zooming in. I ended up going to get some water during this time. So by the time I came back, we were probably like up here. I was like, oh, we respected this order block here. We respected this imbalance. I don't want to see us come back below there. So I ended up pyramiding in. I put on another 2 contracts, moved my stop to below this order block, because previously my stop was below this imbalance. So it ended up adding on about $300 extra risk, which I was completely fine with, and I'm not mad at that at all, because my reward was multiplied literally by 3, I think, versus before. So yeah, my take profit up here would have been a lot better. So I wasn't mad at that at all. I would have done that any day of the week. Respected an imbalance, positive reaction, formed another imbalance off of it. I would expect that to hold. So my new stop was below the imbalance. So yeah, that was my pyramid. Ended up getting stopped out. So those are both of my trades from this morning. And the reason that I'm completely fine with them is just because I stuck to my rules. Minus when I added on right here, I did put on a little bit heavier size, but it wasn't anything major. I stayed, I stayed patient, waited for my entries. Something I've been working on, really just staying zoomed out and not zooming in too early. And I think today I did a pretty good job at that. Losses are just the taxes you pay to the market, especially when you're doing what you're supposed to do. And when I know that my edge works over a long period of time, I'm not worried about it. So yeah, those were my trades from today. I do believe we're probably going to sell off just based off how this 30-minute looks right now. But yeah, well, I could have did better. Really just managed my risk a little bit better. My risk could have been managed, and my loss didn't have to be as big. But outside of that, really not mad at it. Look, as you can see, we're about to close below this 5 minute more than likely. As the macro approaches, I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to all this resting sell side down here. But yeah, those are my trades from today. Hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.